Oh, interesting. Okay, so if you right click on stuff, you can replace things. Replace with boxes. Control drag. When working with the canvas point, you can hold control while dragging to drag the anchor and the widget at the same time to the desired location. Maybe I should be writing some of this down. Hold control when dragging to also move the anchor or the object. Alright, whenever you create a widget blueprint with some content, is considered a user widget. These widgets will appear in the palette window in the designer tab under user created and be dropped into the graph like any other widget. The confirmation screen user widget is added to a different menu screen. Okay, so we can use this to your advantage when constructing screens and construct. If you have some functionality that's going to be used quite a bit throughout your project, make it its own widget that you can drop into any other widget to supply that functionality rather than building it in each area each time you need it. Yes, that's true. Use textures instead of materials for your art. Use events to drive UI when possible instead of bindings or tick events. Use invalidation box to cache widgets that change for an option. Use the widget reflector to get information and statistics about your widgets. Okay, so, I mean, we already know we're going to use events. That's obvious. Alright, so what I want to do here, let's make a clock widget. Let's make UI generic clock. Okay, so this generic clock screen size is just going to be 22-inch monitor. That's just always what we're going to do. So 1680 by 1050, 16 by 10. Is that our target resolution? $16 by 9. I think 16 by 10 is probably fine. Okay, so for this to work for a clock widget, let's just get our pieces together, right? So Dashkin, Y, screens, static, screen assets, game. So we've got our clock background here. Let's just call it text clock background. Let's see how big the actual widget is. It is 800 by 237, so let's just do 800 by 237. So if we have this object, I think the anchor for the object needs to be in the middle. So this object needs to be at negative 400, and then we want negative 237 divided by 2. So we'll put this in the middle of where it is, something like that. And what the fuck is a wrap box? A canvas panel. What? That looks like Unreal crashed. Good job, Unreal. You did it. You crashed all on your own. Creating widgets. Once you have created and laid out your widget blueprint, in order for it to be displayed in game, no, creating widgets. Once you've created your widget, like, no, fucking. Creating widgets should be about creating widgets. Okay, by default, the widget blueprint editor opens a designer tab with a widget blueprint, blah blah blah. There's a menu bar and all this other shit. None of this is helpful. Anchors are used to define a widget's desired location on a canvas panel and maintains a position with varying screen size. Anchors are normalized. Once you have a canvas panel and add other things to it, you can either select from a number of preset anchor types. Yeah, whatever. And our clock is fucking gone because, yeah. Because, of course, it didn't get saved. Why make something 237 in height? That's not an even number, damn it. Okay, so if we have something like that, and then we have a mission HUD, we have a scale box or whatever, right? Well, let me look at my other widget. Alright, this scale box has anchors that are set for the whole thing. Is that right? And that our offset left and right, top and bottom is like so. Alignment is 0, Z order is 1. Scale to fit both directions. So we have a scale box that fills the screen. I think we need another scale box inside of it. So if I select this and then I drag a scale box, it puts it inside of it. Alright, so we'll have scale to screen, and then we have like what, scale to resolution, scale to aspect. How come this is doing nothing? Like, maybe we don't want a scale box, but we want a canvas panel. I want to set the screen size specifically. Because right now, it's 2.2, so we're 2.2 to 1 as a max aspect ratio, but so that should be our 2.2 to 1. So it's 2210 is what we should be working with. Alright, well, let's close all this trash. So supposedly we can add custom screen resolutions. Alright, so let's see if that adds our drop down there. Because that's what we should be building it in. Looks like Maelstrom finally built, so I can boot that up as well. Jesus Christ. Their project setup is just utter trash. Like I do not. It's so horseshit. Like what? What's having problems with? What can it do? Target is up to date. Couldn't build. Everything's fine, but can't run. Right. It's amazing. So I'd have to do a rebuild on their project only, rebuild only this thing. It's basically that their project settings are all sorts of jacked up, so that's just so stupid. Whatever. It's not my fucking project, it's theirs. Alright, so max widescreen and Max widescreen. I have absolutely no idea what in the fuck just happened to this thing. Like what? Okay, we'll remove you, we'll add you back. So if we drag this thing in here, what in the hell is this? Press Alt to move the widget out of the current parent. If I hit Control and drag, I do not, none of this makes sense. Like I can drag this thing and it's changing the anchor that this thing is set at. I wish I could just, you know, so if I change the X position of this object, what the fuck? Like, what is even changing, you know? Gonna change the Y position of the image? I can't. I mean, what the fuck am I even editing here? Like, it just looks like it's broken. Like, I can't. Yeah, okay, so, like, the dragging stuff is just completely fucked. Man. Yeah, and I'm gonna have to rebuild the entirety of Maelstrom to even run the fucking editor for that game. It's so stupid. Their project setup is just trash. Like, I really don't understand what in the hell is going on with this anchors thing. Because it's like if we have a top left anchor size for this clock, how come it's filling this whole thing? You know, like. Okay, yeah, that's totally 800 by 237, and it fills the entire. Why is it scaling the object based on the goddamned position? Okay, so if I have just a UI basic clock and I set its anchor to the middle of the screen, and I say this thing is going to be negative 400. And my computer is just stuttering like crazy because I'm building all this stuff. Can't even put a Maelstrom because of their stuff. I mean, really, they should just have everybody building. I don't know. I don't know about that project. We'll see how much longer I work with them. Or I do anything for them, because the way that they do things is not very professional. It's real slipshod, so some of the issues with that being just like I could go in and fix stuff for them, but if there are things they don't want to fix that they should, be like you should build the editor in Visual Studio. Oh, I don't want to do that. You're like, well then, fuck off. Like then don't make the game. Just quit. Go for it. Good job, guys. You just don't want to be successful at what you're doing. That is not what I clicked on. Let's just start simple. Let's just get a clock on the screen and see what it does. So it doesn't scale, doesn't move down. Or anything like that. That's what it does, so it just stays there. This thing's gonna crash, isn't it? Okay, so it does that. Can I just make it not visible? Hmm. It's not doing anything that I think it should be doing. I'm just not sure how anything here works. So it's basically, I've got a canvas panel. I want that to be scaled to fill this scale box, but the widgets inside of the scale box are it's basically, I need the size of the canvas panel to be a certain thing, but I can't set it. And I can center the thing, but the problem is the anchor is... It just makes... Yeah, everything's all screwed up. This makes no fucking sense. None of it makes sense. You have a scale box and it doesn't work. Or I'm thinking about scale boxes in a very different way. Such as what I would like this box to do is make an element bigger based on the size of the screen relative to where it is, and maybe have an offset position based on the size of the screen and where it is. So if I make the screen twice as wide, it gets twice as wide. That's literally what I would expect a scale box to do, but it looks like the scale box doesn't. It works on a single actor, and then I can't put multiple things inside of it. But even then, it's not scaling. When I scale, like, what the fuck is that about? It's so ridiculous. They're not using any scale boxes, are they? Oh, you can't click on anything? What in the hell? Fucking amazing. Could not find provision directory. How come this has a goddamn DPI curve scale and we don't?